on what tactics we use. As we're more in the beginner level, we can only do so many things. So we want to keep our tactics as simple as possible and just focus mostly on what we can execute. Again, the higher the level, the higher the complexity of what we might do. But at the end of the day, whatever level you play beyond very, very beginner, this is a sport that not just ability wins, but really thinking and playing chess has its merits in pickleball for sure. So if myself and my partner meet up and we say, all right, let's go play, his idea of playing strategy and my idea of playing strategy could both be right and be completely opposite. Okay? So we want to give you all the starting blocks of how to create a game plan with your partner and how to base that off of what each of you are comfortable with and potential weaknesses of opponents in your play. Okay? So we want to give you 3 questions to get the process started. And these are questions that you're going to memorize. And these are all controllables of things that are within your control to try to do as you're playing. Okay? The first question is, where are we going to return serve on the court, right? If we don't, if we're playing 3 days and we want to make our return, the answer is, hey partner, I'm going to aim for the middle because I don't want to miss it wide, right? But after we get to a higher level and we can choose, I can do this half, this half, it might be, I'm going to return to Nancy because she doesn't have a lot of power. She mostly just drops, and I don't feel that much pressure when she drops. And if that's the player that won't hurt us, or we can say, you know what, I'm going to return to George because he drives everything, but he only makes out 1 out of 5, and I'm not worried about power. He's inconsistent. Or we can say, you know what, I'm going to return to the middle because Nancy and George are married, and let's watch them fight over. That. My wife would know. Okay, so that's the first question. Where are we going to return the serve? Okay. Second question, who are we going to drop or drive to? Okay, so we might say, hey, we're going to drive at Nancy because she just blocks the volley and just invites us forward. We say we might drive at George because he's big, wild, swings and doesn't connect, right? Or we can say we'll block to George because he overreaches and has that down. So it's not always about what the right answer is, but you want to back it up with the reason behind it, right? There should be a reason behind it. Who we're going to return to, who we're going to drop or drive to. This is also a great chance to tell your partner, hey, I know that you want to drive at Nancy. I don't have a very consistent drive. I'm more of a drop player. So even though I think what you're saying that's a great play, just for my own purposes, I'm going to drop because that's what I'm comfortable with. Now your partner's that much more ready to play the tempo that you're comfortable with. So it's a great time to get on the same page. And then the last question is, what is our advantage or what is our kitchen strategy? So now we're picturing we've made it up, or our opponents have made it up, nobody has an advantage. We're up to the kitchen, we're thinking, where do we want to position our dinks? At the beginner level, I'd say, you know what? I'm just going to mostly dink across the court because that's the biggest target. I just want to make my dinks. That's fine to say. The highest level of dink, court 1, if you say, you know what? I'm going to go across the court. I'm going to dink aggressive because I like to attack and I like tempo. So if I get a weak dink, I want something that I can attack and use my hands. Again, it's not there's not one right answer or one wrong answer. There's the reason behind it and getting on the same page with your partner. Anything else to that?
Yeah, I think good playing comes with self-awareness, right? We have to know what our strengths and what our weaknesses are, right? So that's the foundation of play, right? Ethan and I are talking. Ethan's got a great power game, and I'm saying I hate shooting a lot. Right? Like it's not really gonna work, right? So be honest with yourself. What are you good at? What are you comfortable at? And then kind of start with that.
Yeah, because it's totally okay for Ethan to say, you know what, I like driving, I'm going to drive. And I say, you know what, I don't drive well, I'm going to drop. That's totally okay. He's going to know a drop is coming from me and be more prepared. I'm going to know a drive is coming from him, and I'm going to be more prepared. So it's just a great time to get on the same page, if that makes sense. Do you have any questions at all? Yes?
On that line, so do you take that while you're on the court, that hey, I'm going to return straight ahead?
I usually do a powwow before we play. That's what we're going to do. So we're going to actually pick. Everyone's going to go close to the courts you're on. I know it got a little jumbled, but go to the general section. We're going to pick who you're going to play with, who you're going to play against. I want you to powwow for like 30 seconds to a minute. Try to go over these questions with your partner, and then we're going to finish playing like a tournament-style game where we actually have a timeout. So if you decide, your game plan, you're down 6-0 before you blink, you can call a quick timeout and be like, you know what? Maybe we actually need to return to the other person. Maybe we need to stop driving because that's not working. Maybe let's drop. But you're going to know who you're playing with, who you're playing against, and we're going to simulate a tournament-style one-game conditions off of that.
Real quick, when they say, you guys have been playing with each other for almost 2 days now. Once you're just a day 2 weeks. You guys know each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
As coaches, I want to hear, we are going to attack Bob because he hasn't made a backhand drop in 2 days. Right? I want to hear this reason. Sorry, Bobby, you've been plenty of
We're supposed to use generic names. We got away from this there.
Right, you guys know
Not calling anybody out.
good or bad at, right? So I want to hear reasons or specifics against your opponents, okay, on top of the questions.
Okay, how about that?